Let's talk about an idea so powerful, it literally rewired all of human history. We're talking about an invention that came along before the great empires, even before the first real cities were built, and you know what? It all started with a simple shape.
Just think about that. Long before we ever figured out how to harness lightning or split an atom, this one single concept laid the groundwork for, well, everything that came after. It's an idea that's so fundamental, so deeply baked into our world that most of the time we don't even see it.
And that's exactly what we're going to get into. Because the story you think you know about the wheel, well, it probably isn't the whole picture. So let's dig into the real story behind this incredible invention.
Okay, so the story we all kind of learn in school goes something like this, right? Around 3500 BCE, somewhere over in Mesopotamia, some genius inventor slaps a wheel on a cart and poof, humanity is on the move. It's a nice, clean, simple origin story. But here's the first big twist in the tale. The archaeological evidence, the stuff we can actually hold and see, it tells a completely different story. The very first use of the wheel had nothing to do with transportation at all.
This is where it really begins, the potter's wheel. Archaeologists have found these slow, revolving discs used for making pottery that date all the way back to the 5th millennium BCE. That's centuries before the first wheeled vehicles pop up anywhere. So the big takeaway here, the first revolution wasn't happening on the road, it was happening in the workshop.
So, if the wheel was first being used for pottery, that just opens up this huge question: where did the idea for the wheeled vehicle actually come from? And this, my friends, is where the mystery really starts to get good.
When you look at the timeline, something amazing happens. Around 3500 BCE, it's almost like a light switch gets flipped across the entire ancient world. Evidence for wheeled vehicles doesn't just show up in Mesopotamia. Nope. It appears almost at the exact same time across this huge geographic area, from the Near East all the way into the heart of Europe. And we're not just talking about one kind of clue here. In Uruk, we've got pictures on clay tablets. Over in Poland, there's a famous pot that shows a four-wheeled wagon. In Germany, archaeologists found actual cart tracks preserved under an ancient tomb. And in Slovenia, they found the oldest actual wooden wheel ever discovered. All of these finds are clustered in the same, very narrow slice of time.
This has led modern archaeologists, like Maria Bondar, to a whole new way of thinking. The invention of the wheeled vehicle probably wasn't a single eureka moment in one place that slowly spread. It was more like an idea whose time had just come, sparking innovation in multiple places, maybe even independently.
But this whole mystery kind of brings up another question. I mean, if the idea of a spinning circle was already around for making pots, why did it take so long to put one on a cart? Well, the answer is that the true invention wasn't just the wheel. It was something way more complex.
Look, anybody can roll a log, right? But it's super inefficient, and you can't really build on it. The real genius, the absolute breakthrough that changed everything, was the wheel and axle system. That's the core idea here. The genius wasn't just the circle, it was the whole system that allowed it to spin freely while supporting a stable platform on top.
Just try to imagine the engineering problem they had to solve. You have to make perfectly round wheels, and they have to be the same size. You need a smooth, straight axle. But the most important part, the hole in the wheel and the end of the axle have to fit together perfectly. If it's too tight, they won't turn. If it's too loose, the wheel just wobbles and breaks. Solving that took some serious skill in carpentry and a deep understanding of materials.
But once they solved it, wow, humanity accelerated, literally. This one invention didn't just change how we get around, it started to reshape civilization itself.
Okay, so first, think about the farms. Carts pulled by oxen meant farmers could suddenly move way more grain than they ever could before. This meant you could support larger populations, and villages could grow into towns. And with goods on the move, trade routes blew up, connecting distant communities and creating the first real economies.
Then, of course, there's its impact on the battlefield. A few centuries after those first clunky wagons, engineers developed a lighter, faster version, the two-wheeled chariot. This thing became the ultimate weapon of its time, a fast, mobile platform for archers that could totally dominate a battlefield. The great empires of the Bronze Age were, in many ways, built on the back of the chariot.
And the innovation just kept rolling from there. The basic principle of the wheel and axle became the foundation for countless other inventions. Those same rotational mechanics gave us gears to multiply force, pulleys to lift heavy stuff, and water wheels and mills to grind grain and power early industry.
It really is the simple machine that made all the other machines possible.
So, what does this 5,500-year-old invention actually mean for us today? I mean, it's easy to take for granted, but its legacy is, well, it's absolutely everywhere.
Just think about that number for a second. Over 5,000 years. Very, very few human technologies have had that kind of staying power. It has outlasted empires, languages, entire civilizations, and it's still just as relevant as it ever was.
You see it in the obvious places, of course, our cars, our trains, but it's also hidden inside our most advanced technology. It's in the spinning platters of a hard drive, the turbines in a jet engine, the tiny gears in a watch. Heck, even our software is built on conceptual wheels, things we call feedback loops.
And that really is the ultimate takeaway here. The wheel isn't just a physical object. It's the physical expression of one of the most powerful ideas in all of physics and engineering, that you can harness rotational motion to do work, to overcome friction, and to move the world. The story of the wheel is just this incredible reminder. It wasn't simple. It wasn't obvious. And it didn't happen in just one place. It was a complex breakthrough that turned out to be the spark that transformed humans into a civilization. It really makes you wonder, what seemingly simple, obvious idea is sitting right in front of us today, just waiting to rewire our future?